Hi, everyone. So, I want to talk about inner peace and how we can have inner peace and how we can live with inner peace, and that it's actually so close at hand that it's always astonishes me when I start to think about it. So, what's making a noise? I mean, there's inner peace, but most of us don't have inner peace. There's just noise. So, where's that noise coming from? Well, most of the noise is actually coming from the thinking mind. The thinking mind is filling that space up inside us with thought, constantly, never stopping, comparing, judging, always in our face. And then thinking often stirs up emotion. So you've got two major underlying reasons for noise: thinking and then emotions. And then thinking can use imagination as well to stir up even more trouble. And then we really in the shit say. You got thinking, you got emotions, and now you got imagination creating drama. No peace, no, just a lot of noise. So one of the things I often ask my patients and my students is, what would your experience be if you had no thought and no emotions? Well, the interesting thing is that a lot of them, I would say maybe as many as 60% of the people that I ask that question will say they'd be dead, or there'd be nothing. The rest of them, and most of them who have done meditation, will say there'd be maybe some level of peace around. So that's meditation. That's the purpose of meditation in a kind of way, is not to pay attention to the thinking mind. And if thinking slows down, then emotions slow down. Then there start to be gaps, and imagination is not there. So that's how close inner peace is to meditation. And remember that the whole thing about meditation is to not pay attention to thoughts. Allow thoughts to come and go. I have this image of balloons, and all my thoughts are packed in these balloons, and I just allow the balloons to float past. Don't pull the string and bring that thought back. Let the string go and let the balloon with the thoughts go. So don't be attached to the thinking. And when thinking is no longer in your face, then emotions calm down and the imagination is out of the way, and then there's inner peace. That's how close it is. So not a big effort, actually. The trouble is that we so identify with the thinking mind and all that it conjures up, and the whole day we have thinking going on all the time, making the noise. And so we don't hear the silence in the background, because the silence is always there. It's never gone. All you have to do is not pay attention to the thinking mind. And the moment your thinking is out of the way, there's suddenly quiet and peace. There is another way that you can enter into the meditation space. So the one is thinking of your thoughts as being balloons flying past, and don't grab the string. The other is to imagine, like right at this moment, can you hear the birds outside? Listen and see if you can hear the birds outside. Have you noticed that when you're listening for the birds, it suddenly becomes quiet? That's how quick it happened. All you had to do was stop your thinking mind. We made your thinking mind concentrate on listening to birds. Pay attention to that. And the moment you paid attention to that, it became quiet. So that's the purpose of things like mantras and watching a candlelight. It's just to concentrate the thinking mind. Do it in any way you want to. I used to love the idea of listening to birds and noticed how quiet it became, and then thinking of another bird even further away and another bird even further away, so that my attention was on listening to the birds, and then it became quiet. Nowadays, actually, it's so simple, because I've been practicing for such a long time, that I'm here. In the quietness, in the inner peace, just like that. It's just sitting there. Because my thinking mind is no longer in my face all the time. Having done meditation for 30, 40 years, I think, on and off, suddenly I noticed that thinking was no longer in my face. And it was whoop, just like that. So I don't need to think all the time. Thinking is stressful. Thinking is tiring. So I can just, sit back in my chair right now and listen to the quietness that's there and the peace that comes with it. So it's not far away, inner peace. You can't actually, it's not as if it's as if you can, as if you've got to call upon inner peace. Inner peace is actually part of who you are. It's a being, it's the underlying being. It's out of that place of inner peace that intuition even arises into the thinking mind. Because that inner peace is not just empty, it's full of potential. And when you spend time in that inner peace, you'll begin to discover other things which I will talk about sometime. So that inner peace, that space underneath, that quiet space, is not empty. It's like infinity. Infinity is not empty, it's full of potential. It's even called the quantum potential. So we need to understand that in order to really reach into the potential that we are, we need to learn to control this wild horse of thinking. Because thinking goes on and on. Thinking is just a mechanism. It's not, you try and stop thinking. You can't. It just goes on. And if you try too hard, you just become stressed. So don't even try to stop thinking. Just allow the thoughts to pass by and try and get a sense of that inner peace that's sitting just behind thought. There is another quality that also comes up and is useful in trying to understand inner peace or trying to get there, and that's awareness. The fact is that you're aware of your thoughts. You're aware of your emotions. You're aware of imagination coming up. So awareness is what I call the eyes of the soul. So awareness is present as part of that inner peace package, as it were. If you get into inner peace, if you're aware of that inner peace, then awareness is always there. So awareness and inner peace are, I often call inner peace the body of the soul, and awareness the eyes of the soul. They're always present together. That's who you are. That's your authentic self. Learn to be there and stop allowing thinking to keep capturing your attention. Don't hold on to that string. Just let that string go. Let the thought flow away. There's time to use thinking when you need to. And I love thinking. So it's not that I don't think, but I use thinking. And there's a space for it. But inner peace and awareness, that's what I really want in my life. That's where my core beingness is. And that's where inner peace is. Have a good day and practice that.